All right, brother. Today, we're going to learn something that instantly upgrades the mood, depth, and realism of your scene, all at once. And that thing is ambient occlusion. In simple words, AO is that natural darkness that appears automatically when two surfaces come very close. The closer the objects are, the softer and deeper the shadow becomes. And once you understand AO in Blender, your scene won't just render, it will feel alive. So let's dive right in, without wasting any time. Okay, now let's take a closer look at this image. On the left side, ambient occlusion is off. That's why the walls look completely flat. Corners, edges, and the molding areas have no depth at all. Everything blends into a single brightness, almost like the building has no real structure. And yes, when AO is off, the scene also looks unnaturally bright, as if light is hitting every place equally, which never happens in real life. Now look at the right side. Here, ambient occlusion is on. The moment AO is activated, soft darkness appears in the corners, edges become smoother, and the joints around the molding start becoming visible. Now the walls feel separated, the shapes become readable, and the whole structure suddenly looks grounded, solid, real. And remember, this dark area in the corners is not a real shadow. It's a fake shading effect created by AO, just to help the viewer understand the depth and form of the building more clearly. All right, brother. Now let's jump into Blender and try this out. Shift A, and we add a monkey. Suzanne pops in. Then I press Ctrl 2 to add a subdivision surface modifier with 2 levels. Next, I switch to the shading window and create a fresh new material. Material ready. Now I add an ambient occlusion node, and along with it, a mix color node. These two together will add a natural depth-based shadow effect to our material. After that, I drop in a color ramp so we can fine-tune the AO, make it stronger, softer, or add smooth transitions. I plug the AO factor into the color ramp so the black-white values can control the spread and fall-off of the AO. Inside the color ramp, I drag black to the right, pull white to the left, and then press Ctrl left-click to add a new point in the middle. I set this one to blue so we get a creative tinted AO effect, something you can use for stylized looks. Now the AO's color output goes into the mix node's A input, and the color ramp output goes into B. A gives us raw AO, B gives us the refined tinted version. The mix node blends both and produces the final AO shading on the monkey. And that final output goes straight into the base color of the principled BSDF. This works great for stylized materials. But for realistic materials, AO is usually mixed using multiply or placed in roughness for natural shading. Just a small professional tip, keep it in mind. Then I increase the distance in the AO node. A larger distance spreads AO over a wider area, making corners and cavities feel smoother and more natural. I also increase samples to 20. Higher samples reduce noise and give a cleaner result. You can adjust the mix factor as well. That decides how strong your AO blend will be. Now you can clearly see where the monkey's geometry goes inward. The eye sockets, the ear folds, under the nose, AO gets darker. And where the surface is smooth and open, like the top of the head, AO stays minimal. Because AO follows one simple rule. Closer surfaces, darker AO. Farther surfaces, cleaner shading. And yes, the AO node also gives you options like inside and only local. Only local limits AO to this object only, no influence from other objects around it. Inside helps AO detect internal folds, hollow areas, and tight cavities. These two options can refine your AO behavior a lot. And that's it. Our shading now looks smooth, controlled, and beautifully stylized. And brother, that's the simple logic behind ambient occlusion. With this, you can easily create cleaner depth, more realistic edges, and grounded shading in your renders. If this explanation helped you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, what should we break down next?